Welcome, I'm Ronnie from Ronnie's Garage in Southern California. Today we're holding our monthly tech meet at Ronnie's Garage. Hi everybody, this is 2000 Arnage Red Label. This is the scanner I'm going to use to see what the check engine light is on this car. Now you can usually pull check engine light codes with generic scanners, that's the whole idea. The connector should be right down here, underneath. So we'll turn the ignition on and we'll just wait for this thing to boot up. You can on the OBD2, but you can't check any. Yes, it is. But I'm going to go through a lot of other functions at this. Yeah, this is a Bentley and Rolls-Royce specific tool that you can get into the body systems and security system and all that kind of air conditioning, yeah, airbags. So there we go. So now, see, I don't know if you can you see this, the lettering? So what we've got here is we've got EOBD, okay, Enhanced Onboard Diagnostic. That is for generic for all cars from 96 on, okay. So this tool can actually read codes from another car. The difference is it can't always interpret what the code is. You'll have to look it up. Okay, and then it has down below, it has Bentley, right? And it has Rolls-Royce, because this is specific for these brands. You can go to the different models. So I'm going to go back to Bentley. Okay, and I'm going to tick. That's what they call this check. It's a tick. Right? And now I get to pick the model. This is an Arnage. This also has Azure, Brooklands, Continental, Park Ward, Turbo. So we'll go back to Arnage. This is an Arnage. And yet again another choice on what type of Arnage, right? This is a red label. So we'll go down. There's a Birkin, the green label, Le Mans, Limousine, R, red label. Okay, we'll go to that. So now I have the option of scanning all the systems on the car. Okay, and that's pretty cool. But what we'll do is, since this is a check engine right now, we'll just go to that first. So EMS is Engine Management System. We'll tick that. Ensure ignition is on. Boom.
So it doesn't have to be running, just ignition?
It doesn't have to be running for this, no. And then it asks me if I want to check the fault codes. It has a live data option, so you can watch what the engine module is reading while the car is running. So fuel mixture, timing, coolant temperature, different systems, whether they're working or not. Service functions is for settings. You can do stuff. So I don't want to go through all, we could be here a long time if I went through everything. So let's just look what the fault codes say. It's asking me whether I want to clear them or read them. We'll read them first. And now it's going to fuel rail, here we go, there's one, code PO190, fuel rail pressure switch. So there's a fault with that. Let's see, and we'll tick again, there's 4 of them. What does that say? Engine control module, how do I read more? There's a code 1009, and there's another one, engine immobilizer, that has to do with starting the car. That one will come up a lot if the battery goes dead. This car has 2 batteries. Yeah. So what it does is it doesn't allow the engine to run. So that's what the immobilizing means. So this car has 2 batteries. It has one on the right side. It only comes in when you go to crank it. Okay. So that's the starting battery. Then they have the other one that's called a house battery, main battery. It's on the left side, runs everything else on the car. So you can have a totally dead main battery and the car will still start. But it's going to give you all kinds of codes. Because everything, all the computers on the car rely on that maintained voltage at all times. So typically you will get, we'll go through all the screens because I'm sure this battery's been dead, right?
So the double battery thing began before the BMW
This is BMW times.
What year is this one?
This is a 2000. It's
But it's
the Seraph has the BMW engine from the same year model.
but isn't this Rolls-Royce design?
You're gonna have to look in the books on that, because Crew was around for a while. This was in the middle of all that, because the negotiations lasted longer than. It didn't just happen in 2004. That's when it was finalized. Right, right. That's when the BMW engine started showing up in these cars. The early ones were a V8 BMW engine, the very first Arnages. Yeah.
It was also when the sale of the company.
Yeah, it was all in process at that time. So this is a Bitsa car. There's a lot of parts on this car that you can, if you get the right number, it's a BMW part. Blower motor, air conditioning stuff, a lot of that stuff is BMW on this car, even though it's a Bentley. So anyways, back to the batteries. When that battery goes dead, I recommend on these cars that you, if you're not driving it, you always have a battery maintainer connected to it. And that doesn't mean just connected to the battery, plugged into the house. Okay, because a lot of people leave those maintainers connected, but it's not plugged into the house, and that actually accelerates the battery going dead, in my experience. And as a mechanic, I've worked on a lot of cars over the years, and I've done a lot of quiescent draws or parasitic draw tests on cars, which is when you disconnect the battery, you put an ammeter in between, and you see how many amps are being drawn from the battery when everything is off, okay? It's almost impossible to do one on this car. I have yet to be able to do a complete one on it. And here's, typically that process involves, okay, let's say I hook up my meter to a car that has a battery on. First of all, if there is a draw over 30 to 50 milliamps, there's something wrong. If it's up around 400, it's typically a light left on, something like that. So you look for all the lights, right? And once you get all that stuff done, you start pulling fuses. You pull a fuse that's hot all the time, interior light fuse. If your draw goes away, you know it's in that circuit, right? So you have to go to the wiring diagram, figure out what that all feeds, that fuse. On these cars, I have yet to be able to do that successfully, because I'll go around and I'll just start pulling fuses one after another until the draw goes away, okay? And you think that last one is it. Hell no. Because you leave that out and you plug in all the others and all the draws go on, because there's a sleep mode that the cars go into that is a timed mode. So you turn off your car, right, and you park your car, you walk away. It's at least 30 to 40 minutes before all the computers go to sleep. So the problem I have found with these cars is once you put those fuses back in, that computer wakes up again, and I gave up. I spent a whole day one day trying to isolate a circuit, and then I figured out that I can't. I'm human, I can't.
Is the running battery low on this? Is that what it was?
I bet you it is.
Okay.
I mean, if the car sits and you don't have a maintainer on it, if it sits for 2 or 3 weeks, that dead battery's down, way down. So it'll still start the car, but you're going to have battery voltage warning signals, and then you'll get a lot of, they're called spurious codes that are only because the battery went dead, so you know that module is showing a fault. So they should be replaced when they're bad, but if you leave one dead for a long time and charge it again, and then it goes dead again, and charge again, and it goes dead again, it's going to give up.
Do they use AGM batteries?
I don't know. I use I don't even know what they're called anymore, interstate.
My OEM Jaguar battery went 8 years.
Yeah, 8 years, yeah. But it was driven regularly?
I assume so.
Yeah.
I
8 years is a long time for a car battery.
I only had it for the last 3 of that.
Yeah.
And I think its replacement lasted 8 years as well. It was a Bosch AGM. It's
And-
massive battery.
Yeah, but they're also gel filled, right? Something like that?
The AGM, absorbent glass mat.
Oh, okay.
Fiberglass mat.
Okay.
But so it has.
So it's not a lead acid.
It has the safety effect of a gel cell.
Safety effect.
If you roll a car.
It doesn't dribble out? Never mind the gas and the oil and the transmission fluid and everything else involved.
My formula car is more concerned about
A fire. Yeah.